We all know about the plane. The infamous Lolita Express has become shorthand for Jeffrey Epstein's twisted world of power, privilege, and exploitation. But here's the thing. Epstein didn't just fly, he floated. He loved yachts, floating palaces where privacy was guaranteed, records were scarce, and secrets could vanish over the horizon with the tide. So what really went on aboard Epstein's yachts? Who was on deck sipping champagne in the sun? And where are those vessels today? This is Epstein's secret life on the high seas, the ships, the scandals, and the shadows they left behind. The ghost ship, Lady Galain. Our first yacht isn't just infamous, it's cursed. And we couldn't talk about Epstein and yachts without mentioning this one. In 1986, Dutch shipbuilders launched a sleek vessel for Ahmad Khashoggi, cousin of the murdered journalist Jamal Khashoggi. But he sold it almost immediately. The buyer? Publishing Baron Robert Maxwell, father of Ghislaine Maxwell. He renamed it Lady Galain after his favourite and youngest daughter, a name that would later take a sinister resonance. Maxwell adored this yacht. He used it as his base of operations, even mooring it on New York's East River while negotiating the purchase of the Daily News. To him, the ship wasn't just for pleasure, it was power afloat. But in November 91, the Lady Galain became a crime scene. Maxwell vanished from the deck while cruising off the Canary Islands. Days later, his body bobbled in the Atlantic. The official story? Accidental drowning. The whispers? Suicide, or even murder. Theories flourished. Had Maxwell jumped to escape his collapsing empire? Had shadowy intelligence connections finally caught up with him? The yacht carried on under new owners. Rupert Murdoch's ex-wife Anna eventually bought it, gave it a makeover, and renamed it Dancing Hare. Even that name feels ironic now, because in 2020, long after Epstein's death, the Dancing Hare was spotted gliding into New Zealand. Here's the eerie connecting thread. Ghislaine Maxwell, the woman for whom the yacht was named, would go on to become Epstein's closest associate and his partner in trafficking young girls. The yacht that carried her name had already claimed one scandalous life. It was, in many ways, an omen, limitless power. If Lady Galain was haunted, Epstein's next yacht story was all about control. By the mid-1990s, Epstein had wormed his way deep into the life of retail tycoon Les Wexner, the billionaire behind L Brands and Victoria's Secret. The relationship between these two men is baffling. Wexner wanted a toy that matched his fortune. Enter Limitless. Built in Germany in 1997, Limitless stretched 316 feet, cost around $100 million, and was the first yacht to feature a hybrid diesel-electric propulsion system. And guess who helped design and oversee it? Epstein. At this point, Wexner had granted Epstein sweeping power of attorney. Epstein could literally sign his checks, borrow his money, even manage his philanthropy. That's like not giving assistant, that's giving puppeteer. Epstein later bragged that him and Wexner shared one brain. Wexner admitted Epstein had an unusually strong hold over him. Oh, you don't say. Do you know what's crazy? Wexner still owns the damn boat. He's kept it for nearly 3 decades. I couldn't find a sale, I couldn't find a quiet transfer. Just a floating monument to the strangest, most troubling relationship in Epstein's portfolio. This is the same dude, by the way, who says he deeply regrets his relationship with Epstein. Okay, so why do you still have the boat then? Why are you still partying on the boat that he did for you? Huh? Today, you'll spot Limitless in the Mediterranean or docked in Spain, gleaming like any other billionaire's toy. But beneath the polish is a reminder of how Epstein could embed himself into the fortunes and the lives of the ultra-rich. Very Anna Delvey. Anyone? Anna Delvey? The Phantom Yacht in Phuket. Now for one of the stranger bits. Phuket, Thailand, New Year 2001. Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, was photographed aboard a yacht, shirt off, surrounded by topless women sunbathing on deck. Good for him. He looked less like a royal and more like a middle-aged man who'd stumbled into a frat party. Bit embarrassing. The tabloids went wild. Randy Andy was reborn as a national punchline, but the question lingered, whose yacht was this? And the reports are kind of murky. Some say it was a charter arranged by British music producer Nelly Hooper, who worked with Björk and Massive Attack. Others suggested maybe it belonged to a resort, and one Times column called it Epstein's yacht, framing the whole holiday as part of his hospitality for Andrew. What's clear is this: Andrew ditched his royal protection officers to party that day. Jenny Frost of Atomic Kitten was among the women snapped on deck, and Ghislaine Maxwell was reportedly also part of this same holiday. Atomic Kitten? Or am I only dreaming? Or is this burning an eternal flame? Sorry. The photos alone were damaging, but here's the sinister part. Unlike planes, yachts don't leave flight logs. No neat passenger lists. No manifest to subpoena. Just a phantom vessel drifting around through the scandal. And maybe that's why that story still haunts Andrew today, among other things. The nameless yacht was a black hole. One more reminder of how Epstein's world operated just out of reach of accountability. Sydney Harbour Nights. Phuket wasn't the only time the yachts played a starring role in the Epstein-Ghislaine Maxwell scandal of it all. Rewind to 1995. Sydney Harbour glittered with wealth at Christmas. Epstein and Ghislaine boarded a 100-foot yacht for one of the season's hottest parties. The guest list sparkled with Australian royalty. Not crowns, but money. Trucking magnate Lindsay Fox, media heir James Packer, and singer Denny Hines. The Sydney Morning Herald called it one of the most coveted invitations of the year. Decades later, when that story resurfaced, Fox denied ever meeting Epstein, but the journalist who wrote the original piece stood by it. Whether denial or damage control, the story fits a pattern. Epstein and Maxwell used yachts like stage sets. On them, they mingled with billionaires and celebrities, making connections that expanded Epstein's network and gave him cover. The yachts were private, exclusive, offshore, perfect for men who wanted to be seen and others who didn't. The Marina Man. Okay, so Epstein wasn't just like hanging out on these yachts. He owned the docks. Duh. In 2019, it emerged that he owned 50% of American Yacht Harbour, a marina and shopping complex in St. Thomas. And this wasn't just a casual investment. The marina sat just minutes from Epstein's private islands, Little St. James and Great St. James. It gave him massive tax breaks, legitimate business operations, and most importantly, cover. Imagine this: yachts coming and going, boats moored for the night, crews unloading supplies, no one asking questions about who was on board, and Epstein, with his name on the paperwork, part owner of the very facility meant to manage and monitor it all. So it wasn't luxury, it was logistics. A trafficker's dream. Control the dock, control the flow of people. Yachts as fancy floating secrets. They were floating fortresses, offshore playgrounds, silent stages for power, pleasure, and maybe crimes. And unlike the infamous plane, the yachts left no paper trail. There's no list of names, there's no flight paths, just whispers on the water. If you liked this video, check out all the deep dives I've done into all of Epstein's different properties, all the shit he owns, the plane, that French apartment, the Zorro Ranch, the mansion, the islands. I've just gone into it bit by bit. And if you like to know what's going on with evil billionaires, they're all evil, don't worry about it, then you should subscribe because we do this for you 5 days a week. I got a lot of feelings about Atomic Kitten getting a mention. They were like my favorite band when I was 5. I thought they were really slow. I mean, maybe so. Yeah. Bye!